Hey guys, so here's my first race talk video. My name is Felicia Follum. I'm going to do a little bit of background information on who I am and where I came from. So my experience and how I relate to race and ethnicity. And my experience of being Black is very different than a lot of people's. I grew up in South Dakota, Rapid City. I grew up seeing a lot of racism towards Native Americans, and it was just kind of, sorry, I have paint on my fingers. It was just accepted. I remember a couple times where I'd say something to someone from high school, and I think, yeah, we were friends in high school, and I was like, you can't, like, that's racist towards Native Americans. He's like, yeah, they're just drunk Indians. Like, everybody knows that. That's what everybody says. Like, and he just justified using these terms. Leaders in the community would refer to, that's the drunk Indian side of town. Or one time at church, I invited a Native American man to come watch us sing for a group performance, and a lady scolded me, asked me why I was bringing drunk Indians, inviting poor drunk Indians to church. Lots of these types of things were just very common. And as someone who was mixed, I was used to being like asked, why are you Black, by white kids. And so in middle school, I started seeing like all of these Native Americans being treated so terribly. It really made me aware of what was going on. And I think I would get similar treatment at times, but there was also a distinction between being Native and being Black. Also, if I was with people that were much darker than me at all, I would get treated with like the way they got treated. If I was with people lighter than me, I'd get treated the way they got treated. So I was kind of like in this middle ground. Also, I had two white parents, my biological mother and my adoptive father, which that helped. Name dropping with police officers, or one time an officer didn't believe that my ID was real. I don't know why anyone would have a fake ID that says you're 16, but he didn't believe that I lived on the white side of town, and all it took was my white mother walking down the street to be seen, and he believed me. Things like that, not so great. Also, I didn't grow up with my biological family. I do have some half siblings that are in some rough situations, and my biological father was murdered by the KKK when I was little. So there is some pretty impactful stuff in there as well. And I think too, being in a mixed race family, there's lots of racism within my family that goes different directions. And also lots of people being like, I have a Black cousin, whatever, friend. Growing up in South Dakota, you get that type of thing a lot. I then went to college in Wyoming. There were some differences, some similarities, and now I live in Eastern Washington State, where I've seen a lot of discrimination towards people that are from a Hispanic background. We also live in a refugee intake community, and it's also what's called a sundown town. So there were laws up until the Civil Rights Act where they were abolished or taken away, I'm not sure the exact wording, that meant you couldn't be in certain towns after the sun went down, or you could basically be killed or raped or whatever. So yeah, and we also lived in Richmond, Virginia for 3 months last fall. And that's actually when I started this Race Talk series. So before the Black Lives Matter movement was big, common day thing, before George Floyd, I started a series on Instagram, #RaceTalkFF. And so this will kind of be an extension of that as well. So that's my background. I also studied African American Studies, Religious Studies, and Philosophy as my second major in college. First one was art and graphic design. And so I have an educational background in African American Studies as well. So I think that's probably enough for my background, but I hope that's helpful. Feel free to drop any questions below, and I will see you in the next video.